We must follow up. I am driven. I am determined to follow up about a story that is increasingly smelling like Watergate. Yesterday, I told you about these roughly 7 hours of missing call logs that the Trump White House has turned over to the January 6th committee investigating the Trump riots. So to reset the entire thing and get everybody on the same page. For a period of time now, the January 6th committee has been wanting the logs of who did Donald Trump speak to on January 6th. And it turns out that what was provided to the investigative committee is missing 7 hours. And as I told you yesterday, this was during some very key hours between 11:17 a.m. and 6:54 p.m. This is the most important time of the riots. It's from just before they started heading towards the Capitol, through the period of time during which we now know Trump was being urged, even by people in his family like Ivanka, to call in the National Guard, tell people to go home, to the point at which Donald Trump gave that very mealy-mouthed and soft and squishy appeal to his followers to go home, even though they were completely right to be there, because the election, after all, was stolen, as Trump said, through to when people actually started leaving the Capitol. This is the key time. We're going to follow up in a moment on Donald Trump's claim that he doesn't know what a burner phone is, because one of the aspects of this is not only are 7 hours missing, even if Trump didn't make any phone calls on White House phones during that time, he clearly was talking to people and he may have been using burner phones. We're going to follow up about that in the next segment. But the first part of this is that Talking Points Memo has done something fascinating, which is they have assembled media reports where others acknowledge speaking to Trump during that time. And they are now able to say with a high degree of certainty, here are at least some of the calls missing from the call logs. Now, whether they're missing because they're just missing and haven't been turned over, or whether they're missing because burner phones or other people's phones were used, we don't yet know. But this is very, very interesting. Talking Points Memo. Trump was 100% making phone calls during the January 6th attack. Here's the list. And what they've done is they've assembled media reports and they've said, here are calls that have been acknowledged which aren't recorded anywhere. So, for example, Mike Pence. The official records turned over to the committee don't include Trump's final call with Mike Pence on January 6th, during which the president made a last attempt to pressure Pence to illegally hijack the election certification process. Then Pence advisor General Keith Kellogg testified under oath about the conversation. The Washington Post reported on the call. Bob Woodward and Robert Costa surfaced the call in their book Peril. So that is a specific call with 3 sources that is not on the logs. So that's a call. There's no record of it in what the Trump administration has turned over to investigators. Okay, next call. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. We know about this call. Trump had an explosive call with the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy right in the middle of the attack. Representative Jamie Herrera Butler confirmed the call, said McCarthy briefed her on the call. That's the conversation where Trump, responding to the GOP leader sounding the alarm of violence, remarked, "Well, Kevin, I guess the people are more upset about the election than you are," according to Butler. That's a specific call that we have independently sourced. It's not on the records turned over by Trump. So that's another call that took place during those 7 hours. Senators Mike Lee and Tommy Tuberville. Senator Mike Lee told the Salt Lake Tribune he got a call from Trump moments after the Capitol Police stopped the Senate proceedings. I believe that was around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. It was a crazy day. I'm going from memory, but it's certainly within that 7-hour window of missing calls. The caller ID indicated the call was coming from the White House, according to Lee, but he didn't know it was Trump until he picked up. According to Lee, Trump misdialed and was trying to call Senator Tommy Tuberville, so Lee handed his phone to the Alabama senator. In the wake of the attack, Tuberville revealed he told Trump in the call that Pence was being evacuated. Third call, missing from the logs. Trump was on the phone. This call from the White House. So this was not with a burner phone. The caller ID was the White House. Jim Jordan. Now, this one we've spoken about so many times, and Jim Jordan has been extremely dishonest and deceptive about how many times did you speak to Trump on that day. The official call logs include one call between Trump and Jordan at 9:24 a.m. We now know, with the benefit of hindsight, Jordan has admitted to more than one call that day, and at least one was during the attack. So at minimum, we know that there's one acknowledged Jim Jordan call not reflected in the records turned over by Trump. And then lastly, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Politico reported that Gaetz was on one of Jordan's calls to Trump, during which they urged Trump to call off the supporters storming the building. So Gaetz himself has refused to say if he was part of the call, but Politico, he hasn't denied it, and Politico has reported it. So again, that if that's with Jim Jordan and during the attacks, it's during that 7-hour window. These are all easily verified by public statements. And of course, I don't know if and how Republicans will even try to spin this. They will probably say it's a fishing expedition. This is a bad faith committee. It's a committee that needs to be ended. It's politically oriented because they don't have any Republicans other than 2 anti-Trump Republicans. That's because they refuse to be on it. Everybody else refused to be on it. So we do have the ability to figure out at least some of these calls. Records can be cross-checked. And then from the standpoint of the investigative committee, if they successfully subpoena the phone records of the people on the other ends of these phone calls, then they would be able to say, well, here's a call in Jim Jordan's phone log, and it's not reflected in what the White House gave us. That's a call that they have hidden from us. So clearly that's something that they can do. And this is stinking more and more like Watergate. And we're going to talk about that a little later. Let's now dig in a little bit to the whole burner phone thing. One of our sponsors is called Privacy. Privacy is a totally free service that I've been using for years. Privacy lets me create virtual payment cards with one click, and when I use the virtual card, the money is taken out of my bank account. You can create multiple cards, delete them, freeze them, set a spending limit on them. Let's say I'm signing up for a free trial and it requires a credit card. Privacy will autofill a virtual card number, and then after signing up, I can delete that virtual card. So I know I'm not going to be charged again. Something really useful and very practical. Or let's say I'm ordering food over the phone, but I left my wallet somewhere. I don't have my real credit card on me. I can use a virtual card on my Privacy mobile app. But really the best part is you're not out there exposing your real credit card number, so you're not as susceptible to data breaches and identity theft. Privacy is a totally free service, and you'll get $5 to spend when you go to privacy.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.